As I read some of my Republican colleagues' press statements, and as I sit here today, I am reminded of that quote from Macbeth, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. I've heard some sound and fury today from members of the committee, and the reason they largely signify nothing is because of two fundamental truths that are self-evident. The first of which, none of the members of this committee can be objective on this issue. I can't be objective. I've endorsed Hillary Clinton for president, as have the Democratic members of this committee. My Republican colleagues can't be objective. They oppose Hillary Clinton for president, which is why we have you. You are a nonpartisan career public servant that has served our nation with distinction and honor. Not only can you be objective, it is your job to be objective, to apply the law fairly and equally, regardless of politics. I think it'd be important for the American people to get a fuller appreciation of your public service. So let me ask you, before you were FBI director, how many years did you serve as a federal prosecutor?
I think 15.
For a period of time, you were at Columbia Law School as a scholar, and you specialized in national security law. Is that correct?
Sometimes I fantasize I still am.
All right. Thank you. When you served in the Republican administration of President George W. Bush, you were then the second highest ranking member of the Department of Justice. Is that right?
Yes. President Bush appointed me to be U.S. Attorney in Manhattan and then the number 2 in the Department of Justice. When you
were confirmed for the FBI director position, the vote was 93-1. Is that correct?
That's correct.
With that strong bipartisan support, it's not surprising that Senator Grassley, Republican, said during your confirmation, and I quote, "Director Comey has a reputation for applying the law fairly and equally regardless of politics." In this case, did you apply the law fairly and equally regardless of politics?
Yes.
Did you get any political interference from the White House?
None.
Did you get any political interference from the Hillary Clinton campaign?
None.
One of the reasons you're appointed to a fixed term of 10 years, a very long term, is to help insulate you from politics. Isn't that right?
That's correct.
The second fundamental truth today about this hearing is that none of the members of this committee have any idea what we're talking about, because we have not reviewed the evidence personally in this case. When I served on active duty in the U.S. Air Force in the 1990s, one of my duties was a prosecutor. One of the first things I learned as a prosecutor is it is unprofessional and wrong to make allegations based on evidence that one has not reviewed. So let me ask you, has any member of this committee, to the best of your knowledge, reviewed the 30,000 emails at issue in this case?
I don't know. Not to my knowledge.
Any member of this committee sat through the multiple witness interviews that the FBI conducted in this case?
No, that I know. No.
Has any member of this committee received any special information about the files that you kept or other FBI agents kept on this case?
Not to my knowledge.
Now let's do a little bit of math here. 1% of 30,000 emails would be 300 emails. Is that right?
I think that's right.
Right. 30 emails would be 1/10 of 1%, and 3 emails would be 1/100th of 1% of 30,000, right?
I think that's right.
Okay. So of those 3 emails, 1/100th of 1% of 30,000, they bore these tiny little classified markings, which is, as you described, a C with parentheses, correct?
Correct.
Okay. It is certainly possible that a busy person who has sent and received over 30,000 emails just might miss this marking of a C with parentheses. It is possible, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So let me now just conclude by stating what some of my colleagues have, which is there's just the strongest whiff of hypocrisy going on here. The American public might be interested in knowing that all members of Congress receive security clearances just for being a member of Congress. We get to have private email servers. We get to have private email accounts. We can use multiple devices. We can take devices overseas. And really, at the end of the day, when the American people look at this hearing, they need to ask themselves this question: do they trust the biased, partisan politicians on this committee who are making statements based on evidence we have not reviewed, or do they trust the distinguished FBI director? I would trust the FBI director. I yield back.